Governor Bush joins us from Miami, and welcome back to Fox News Sunday, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
Let's start where we left off with Chris Christie. Your thoughts about President Obama's planned executive actions on gun control?
Well, I haven't seen them, but his first impulse always is to take rights away from law-abiding citizens, and it's wrong. And to use executive powers he doesn't have is a pattern that is quite dangerous. It's not a surprise that people don't believe that our government's working on their behalf anymore when you have a president that recklessly uses executive authority that the Constitution doesn't provide him. A better approach would be the approach that I had when I was governor of the state of Florida, where we focused on punishing people that committed crimes with guns, but we enhanced and protected the Second Amendment rights for law-abiding citizens.
But, Governor, let's talk about a couple of the specific ideas that it seems from all the reporting that President Obama is likely to propose as early as this week. Expand the number of gun sellers who have to conduct background checks. Expand the number of accused domestic abusers who are barred from buying guns. Governor, what's wrong with those specific ideas?
Well, because you don't know the details of it, but the so-called gun show loophole, which is I think what he's talking about, doesn't exist. People that want to sell randomly, occasionally sell guns ought to have the right to do so without being impaired by the federal government. If states want to create specific rules around that kind of behavior, fine. As it relates to domestic violence, the state of Florida, when I was governor, did exactly what he's suggesting. But this top-down driven approach doesn't create freedom, doesn't create safety, doesn't create security, and that's what we ought to be focused on.
But let's go back, because you're saying basically you agree with him on the domestic abusers, you just don't like the way...
No, because he can't do this by executive order, Chris.
I understand. You don't like the process.
I went to the legislature. I got it passed, and I signed it into law, and it was a good law, and people are safer because of it.
But what about the background checks? And again, we're not talking about the father selling a .22 to his son, but if somebody,
how do you know?
If somebody sells a few guns and wants to sell a gun to somebody, who does it hurt for the seller, or rather the buyer, to go through a background check?
If it's just an occasional question where you're getting federal license for a person who's going to sell one or two guns, I think that's completely inappropriate. We're a bottom-up country. We're not a top-down country, and he doesn't have the authority to do this anyway. If it's such a great idea, let him go to Congress. My belief is the best approach for this is to have these laws be thoroughly vetted at the state level. And that's why I'm proud of the fact that I have perhaps the most pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment record as a governor of any state in the country. It's why I was Statesman of the Year of the NRA. I received an award from Charlton Heston about 10 years ago. And we cut down gun violence at the same time. That should be the approach.
Governor, thank you. Happy New Year.
Bet,
Safe
Chris.
travels on the campaign trail, sir.
Look forward to seeing you.